Dominic DeGiacomo paced the area around the pool of fresh water, while the specter of his grandfather waded through the clear water with the spear in hand. He held the handmade spear aloft, waiting for a fish to come into view. He pulled the spear back, ready to throw it, when Dom turned and yelled, "It's right on the tip of my mind, but I just can't reach it." Louis DeGiacomo sighed and lowered the spear. He turned and looked at Dominic, a sour expression crossing his features. "You're scaring the fish, boy." "What?" Dom turned, his mind elsewhere. "The fish," Lou said, looking toward the water. "You're scaring them away." He trudged back toward the shore and tossed the spear into the sand. "I thought you were hungry." Dom plopped back into the sand and held his head in his hands. "I am, but this is driving me nuts," he moaned. "It's like it's right on the tip of my mind, but just out of reach." Lou sat down next to him and shielded his eyes with his hand. He looked up at the sun and shook his head. "This is damn strange, boy." "I know. You'd think it would eventually come back to me." "No, I mean the sun." He was still staring at the sky. "It's been high noon all day. You'd think the sun would move a little across the sky." Dom stared at him as if he were crazy. "You're worried about the sun?" "I'm worried that your time here is limited, and without a way to measure it, we have no idea how long we've been here." Dom studied him a moment and realized just how worried his grandfather was. "How long do I have?" Dominic had found himself stranded in his own personal version of purgatory after an accidental overdose while recovering in a hospital in Italy. When his grandfather was sent from the afterlife to guide him back home, Dom wasn't sure if he was saved or had lost his mind. Neither knew how long he had to find his way, but they both felt that time was limited and growing shorter by the moment. Lou shook his head. "I don't know." He turned and looked at Dom and shrugged his shoulders. "Nobody ever gets an instruction book. I just know your time here is limited." He stood up and brushed the sand from his shorts. "And we have to eat." "We got bananas and coconuts and—" Dom started. "Yeah," Lou laughed. "We do, but you need to be careful. Coconuts will give you the squirts. Bananas will clog you up, and those berries over there, I have no idea if they're even edible." He pointed back at the water. "That's why I was trying to catch us some fish." Dom shoved his hands into the moist sand and squeezed again. It had such a calming effect on him, and he didn't know why. Lou watched him a moment and then hunkered down next to him and pulled his hands out of the sand. Dom struggled against him, trying to drive his hands back in the sand.